Hello everyone and welcome to Race Club UK Season 11. This is Ted Trax Tuesdays. We are here live for round 6 here at Spa Francorchamps. My name is Gogs Brown. I'll be in the commentary position this evening. I do apologise if I sound like I have a massive lisp. I have been to the dentist and one half of my face is completely numb. But I will do my best to power through as we watch Ben Gordon power through Pujon in these drizzly, damp conditions we have for this evening. He's done for his practice. We have just over 2 minutes of free practice left. I'm going to just quickly let you know what we have coming up this evening. On the top right of your screen, you will see this evening's schedule. We have a 5-minute qualifying session coming up, followed by 1 hour and 15 minutes here at the legendary circuit in the Belgian forest. On the left hand side of your screen, we see the driver order, currently showing you who is fastest in free practice. You can also see their numbers and their class of car that they are driving in. The white background cars are the pro tier drivers, the silver background are the pro-ams, and the red background drivers are in the am class. We can also see on the top right of the screen the current weather conditions coming up, and we can see it is currently looking bright, but the track conditions, we don't need that screen to tell us. We can see on the track it is damp as we're watching Clements come around the bus stop. Quick rundown of the championship so far. Dan Clegg currently leads the pro tier. He is followed by the American Carl Sween, with Paul Alex in third. Richard Hall, Lars Rampensberger, Ben Gordon, Jack Kraft, Noor Farher, Dres Flores, Chris Clements, Tom Hacker, Matteo Simon, Royal Hermson, Ashley Evans, Mark Bird are the drivers following them. As we see Clements deciding he's had enough of practice this evening. In the Pro-Am category, Chris Rowlands leads that series, but only by a couple of points from Lee Watson. Jorgen Lofstrand is in P3. Matthias Metzger 4th, James Jarnigan in 5th. Herman, Hockley, Adenal, Hutchins and Bellamancy are round at the top 10 in Pro-Am. And in the Am class category, Mark Cedric leads the way after his great performance last time out. Johnny Clark is 2nd, Andrea Denny 3rd. Stefano Franciosi is 4th, Archer 5th. Chris Dawes 6th, Chris Cook, his namesake, in 7th. Gualtieri is 8th with Jose Petiz in 9th. Sammy English rounds out the top 10. As the checkered flag has fallen on practice and the sun has come out behind the clouds, we're watching Bird now finalise his spin into the tyre wall on the inside of the Fangio chicane, and that will be his practice likely over. Carl Sween just bypasses the same point off the track. And these are the tricky conditions that aren't quite wet, they're not quite dry, so the tyres that you have on do make all the difference. And even if something is having the pressures a tiny little bit out, can make all the difference. Sween flies round Blanchimont, just about keeps it within track limits, I think. hard now down on the brakes into the bus stop and going to take the checkered flag. No, he jumps into the pit lane. And Lofstrand is the last driver on track. As he understeers wide, can he keep it within the white lines? He can just about. And he is going to complete the lap time and take us across the line. So we have a wet qualifying. A very, very, very wet qualifying. Hope the drivers do have some wet setups ready to go. No one immediately flying out of the garage, which indicates that they don't. Car number 1, of course, as always, Dan Clegg, immediately out onto the long back straight. And the rain really is coming down. That track is absolutely soaking. Down the long straight now. This is the Lecombe chicane he's about to arrive up to. Next on track we have car number 24, who I cannot seem to find on the tracker. Nope, no idea. Good start. There he is, Chris Cook, all by himself in the Porsche. Then it's the 111 of Hall behind him. The black and grey livery we've become accustomed to seeing this season from the Piston Breakers team. His teammate in the Aston Martin, tucked in behind there. There's Hermsen in the Lexus. The Lexus is a very good car in the rain. Let's wait to see if he can take advantage of that. And we've now got a little bit of a traffic jam and someone's off. That's Cedric in the Pearl Honda. He's backwards into the barrier at the corner with no name, so he'll be done for at least temporarily anyway. Largest track on the calendar, or at least one of the largest tracks on the calendar, and they cannot seem to find the space to get a clean lap in. Got a car is off the track on the straight there. That's Jarnigan. The yellow McLaren now leaves to start their lap and does the 114 Lexus. Simon's out there and they've all kind of separated themselves now as Clegg gets us underway. He starts his lap round La Source. And now for the long run down. The endurance start-finish straight. And he's going to be the first driver to take El Rouge and Radion in anger in these horrific conditions as the BMW sails up the hill. Maybe leaving a little bit on the table, we'll see how that goes. Car 36 is Adam now, he's parked up in the pit lane. A cracking view that one, isn't it? We see all the cars running down the hill. Car number 17 is off track. That's Carl Sween. Carl Sween returned it to the pit lane. This is Metzger now on the way into La Source. So let's jump on now with Dres Flores, who's going to show us what a guided lap of Spa-Francorchamps looks like in the wet in his Ford Mustang. Keep an eye on the left hand side of your screen. You have the driver tracker, which will show you the driver's lap times as they come round the circuit. We have 50 seconds of this qualifying session remaining. A little bit of aquaplaning from Flores as he flies over El Rouge now. Can he keep it within the white lines? He does as he gets the back end in check. over Radion, he absolutely has. A little bit of a puddle on the apex of that corner. That's not really a corner. Car 919 is showing as off track. That is Bellamancia off track there at the Fangio chicane. So Flores now coming down to Rivage. I believe that's called Rivage. Checker flag now out. This is it. No more laps can be started. Car 114 has just made the line to start their lap. Flores just keeps it on track round the corner with no name. Very fast double left-hander coming up. Now this is Pouon corner. Very tricky indeed round these wet conditions, but he's kept it going into the Fangio chicane. A little bit of aquaplaning on the way in. Paul Alex, Hall and Clegg. Paul Alex takes pole position by over a second. This rain really has put the cat amongst the pigeons in the normal order we would expect to see things in the dry. Clements goes half a second short as Flores now on the back straight to Blanchimont. Nearly flat out in the dry, definitely not in the wet. Big lift, and he's went too fast. That's his time invalidated. He will start near the rear of the field. We'll stick with it just now. Where does he manage to put it? It definitely looked like it was ran wide. And Flores completes the lap. So we've still got a couple of cars out there. This is Mark Cedric in the Peril Honda. Not seen many Hondas in Assetto Corsa Competizione recently. I've been following their story, the Peril Honda team's story this season, and the car does look like a little bit of a diva to control, so we'll see if they're able to get anything from that car as the season progresses. Ben Gordon now comes across the line and goes P7. Here comes the Peril Honda driver now. He's got Hutchins behind, but where can Cedric put it up into P11? That's pole position in AM class. Hutchins goes into P11 now, displacing him down into 12th. James Jarnigan now in the Lexus, coming rounding the bus stop. And he's obviously not on a valid lap time because time has run out. And their laps will not count. So there we have the grid then. And what a surprise we have up top. We missed it this time. We followed them round Imola last time out, but Pete Dalton has managed to go into P1. The Pro-Am driver leading the pack, or will be leading the pack away, managed to go 0.3 of a second faster than anyone else. Very likely due to his Sector 1 time, about 8/10 of a second faster than anyone else managed. That's not strictly true. Kraft was close as well. But Dalton takes pole position here in Spa with a 2 minutes 35.6. We have Brown in second, Kraft third, Alex fourth. Chris Rowlands, the Pro-Am Championship leader, managing to go fifth on the grid. Second in class, Chris Clement sixth, Ben Gordon seventh, Hall eighth, Dan Clegg down in P9, and Jorgen Lofstrand rounding off the top 10. Then we go Hutchins, Cedric, Hermsen, Demi, Metzger, Simon, Archer, Herman, Adenal. Actually, we see now from P18 down, didn't even set a valid lap time, so that's Herman, Adenal, Flores, who we were on board with. Bird, Bellamancia, Cook, Jernigan, Clark, Hockley, Sween didn't get a lap in either. We'll see Sween likely charging through the field this evening. And Francorchamps. And thank you very much for that, Ben Gordon, letting everyone know that my teeth are indeed still in this evening. So, here we go. 1 hour and 15 minutes of racing around a track that quite frankly is not in the best of condition. We have got rain just now. We are going to have a formation lap kick off in about 2.5 minutes. The rain is expected to stop in about 15 minutes. How will the drivers play this? Will they choose to try and go out on dries, brave it for the best they can, and just hope that they hang on, and that way they won't have to come into the pits? Or will they play it safe, put the wets on, and get the speed and on track advantage, give up track position in the pits, and hope they have carried out a big enough gap? Of course, their dry tyres, as the track dries, will also be in better condition. So some interesting strategy for the drivers to decide before we get underway this evening. And that's a very, very interesting view at the back of the grid. That is second in the championship in the Grello Porsche, Carl Sween. Will be looking to do something with this strategy to help him navigate the field. This was his chance of Dan Clegg, qualifying only in 9th place. So we'll keep an eye on how they get on this evening. Of course, the weather could change again. It's not set. That's not the final weather. We're not going to have 10 minutes of rain and then be dry the rest of the race. I can't guarantee that. That might happen, it might not. Only time will tell. I'm going to take a short break just now. I'll be back in about 30 seconds time. Do not go anywhere.
Seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
We are back as we await Pete Dalton getting us underway this evening. Oh no, hit drive. Oh, big mistake. Right, let's just get us on the leader. We can fix it as we get moving. There he is. So there's Pete Dalton. As he gets us underway here at Spa-Francorchamps. As much off the interface as we can get. There we go. So you're stuck with the driver's speed on the screen for the formation lap. This will be probably the key overtaking opportunity this evening. The run down the Kemmel straight into the Lecombe chicane. Of course, the drivers will be going almost flat out, not just now with the rain, but as it dries out, they will find themselves almost flat out through El Rouge Radion, all the way down this straight. So they'll be nearing top speed up the hill, and an uphill braking zone where you can brake as late as you dare. Expect to see this to be one of the areas where we have the incidents this evening. I should fix that, hopefully. Nope, still lost all my driver controls. Fantastic. Okay. So you need to bear with me at the race start. I'll do my very best to make sure we capture the leaders again at the start. A very rookie broadcasting mistake from myself. There are 29 drivers showing us in the field this evening. I do believe that includes myself, so there'll be 28 drivers this evening who will be navigating the test, the turbulent tarmac of Francorchamps. The spray looks really bad out there. And we get a view of what looks like onboard someone else. There we go. This is onboard 8th place, Hall. And we get a better view. There we go. This is what Hall will see while driving. This is the view he has. You can see the spray being kicked up. Whereas Dalton, they're at the front. This is Dalton's view. You can see how much easier it's going to be in the first couple of corners. Still some puddles on the track. They'll slowly be picked up into the air as the drivers navigate the corners. Still can't really tell what tyres everyone is on. See if we can see any grooves in the cars. Usually that's how you can tell. You can see, actually physically see the grooves on the back of the cars in front. But it looks like we can't see any from the views that we are being given by the director. No real close-ups of anyone as they come around Francorchamps now. One line really through there, you won't see many cars side by side. We've got Michael Admiral starting from the pit lane this evening, so at least he'll be avoiding any potential chaos into turn 1. Dalton now about to come round the final corner and get us underway. Because I have completely forgotten we are not on the Grand Prix circuit, so we've got to go around La Source before the green flag is waved. One more corner to go as the field now begins to bunch up. The final runners coming round the bus stop just now. As Sween and Francorchamps take up the back of the grid. All drivers managing to just fit on the start finish straight. As we round La Source and await the green flag to get this round off. Ted Trax Tuesdays underway in the torrential rain. As we now await the green flag as the revs build, along with the anticipation.
Green line.
And we are green. We are underway here for Ted Trax Tuesdays. Dalton moves out in front. He's managed to keep the positions to come through El Rouge and Radion for the first time. He's over the white lines, but that's not going to stop him down in the road into turn 1. As they finally regain control of the camera, Dalton goes defensive. We've got cars on the grass at the back. Dalton's going to lead into Lecombe the first time they go round there. Clegg showing us P2, that's inaccurate just now as the driver track updates itself. We've got a McLaren recovering on the exit of Lecombe. The Ted Trax Tuesdays car round the inside there. We've got a car running wide over the curbs as well, but everyone seems to actually have got round relatively safely. Good at driving all round. This is Carl Sween and Flores battering each other. We didn't expect this battle at the back of the grid, but we have it. Oh, Brown has lost some ground as well, and it's Dalton who leads Clements. And Roland's up there as well. as the track now beginning to dry out as Dalton's ran wide onto the wet stuff. And now it is Rowlands taking the lead off Silver Pro-Am class. And Clements, who's out there in front just now, cut off at the back. That's car number 79, that is Carl Sween. It's not, it's Frank Yossi. Frank Yossi is being off at Pouon. He's second last on field just now with Adenal, who started from the pit lane, the only man behind. So it's Clements out in front. He leads Rowland and Dalton in these early stages, but a little bit further back we have Hall on the back of Jack Kraft. He goes to the inside and backs out of it for his first time in round Blanchimont. Will there be a move potentially now into the bus stop? We've got a big bunch of cars. Huge contact there. That is Lofstrand in the wall. And Flores has got back in front of Sween now. Flores, oh, it's a big chunk of barrier out the front of Lofstrand's BMW. So much action going on here, almost 3 wide going into the column this time. And a great start from Demi, who's now leading the AM class. Carl Sween spun, maybe a little bit of contact, but that's pushed them further down now as well as they've come to take the El Rouge and Radion section. There's understeer all over the place, a huge crash. That's Flores, and there was a McLaren involved as well. Car number 27, that is Archerer. Archerer is stopped at the hill. All kicking off here in the early stages, and the rain has stopped, just to complicate things a little bit further. As Bird, is it Bird? No, it's Cook. Cook sliding all over the circuit, struggling to get the grip down. Has he taken, this is the question, who has taken the dry tyres and who has taken the wet tyres? Clegg now down into 10th with Simon just in front. Now Simon is Carl Sween's teammate, so will we see some team orders at play? Car running wide there, that's the Lexus of Jarnigan, or is it Hermsen? It's Jarnigan, and that's moved Demi up a position. Only 5 minutes done so far, and Flores looks like he's having a lot of issues with his internet connection this evening. Drifting round that corner. I don't believe he was drifting for a second. Oh, it's a bump as well. All cars running wide there. That's Metzger in the BMW, and that's pushed Lofstrand off as well. Action all through the field in the early goings. Of course, the conditions were always going to play a part in that. The track now beginning to dry up. Our computer telling us that the track surface is no longer wet, it's just damp. And you can see the dry line slowly beginning to appear. This is Dan Clegg we're watching just now close the gap on the two in front. Nothing doing into Lecombe on this occasion. He's definitely pushing. He is definitely pushing. Tasty looking little battle developing here. Cedric really pushing Herman. Of course, in these conditions, there's only really one drier line, the one fastest way round the track. The second you go offline to attempt an overtake, it can be exceptionally tricky indeed. So Simon now moves out, and he's got Gordon on the wet part of the track, and Gordon is stuck there, and he's caused Sween, so actually has Simon to spin. Simon facing the wrong way, needs to be cautious on that rejoin because he's rejoining into a pack, and he does manage to rejoin safely just in front of Mark Cedric. Sween looks for the lovely move. Brave on the brakes down the inside of Francorchamps that made it stick. And he's definitely shown a lot of confidence. The back end stepping out, though he has to get out of the throttle, and that's put him now under pressure. He's almost been pushed along by that McLaren. The McLaren goes out to the wet stuff to try and open up the corner. That's not going to work in these conditions. But Sween now takes to the inside. This is the wetter part of the track. He needs to be careful on the brakes. Gets it slowed down just in time, and Bird in front is indeed compromised, but it's a great exit by Hutchings, who fights back. And he's got the inside line now. Again, it just has to get on the brakes a little bit earlier. So Clegg's now got in front of Gordon. Maybe a little bit of team orders at play there as well. As Cedric, you see, almost straight lining the top of that hill, and look at the battle just behind. Sween's getting a little bit of a tow, and now he's pulled out of the tow, but the McLaren side by side as they come into the com. Sween's had to back out of it, as he's not had the toe down the back straight on this occasion. And Cedric's lost the front of his car. He's ran wide on the third part of the com, manages to keep it out of the wall at least, and will continue onwards. Metzger we see having difficulty earlier on. Now he's just behind Lovestrand. This is the on-board shot. We can see, of course, the rain has now stopped falling. There's no evidence of that at all. It's just time. Oh, a little bit of sun now beginning to show. That will definitely dry the track up a lot quicker. So Chris Clements still leads. He is 3.6 ahead of Rowlands, and he's pulled a 6-second gap on Dalton, who's now beginning to feel the pressure as the track begins to dry. And yellow flags out, showing for Ben Gordon. No, that's not Gordon, that's Clegg. Championship leader Clegg is in the wall. That's Blanchimont. He's been off track, maybe got on the wet stuff. He's rejoined just ahead of Cedric. So Clegg is going to, yes, he is going to jump into the pits. That damage is too much to continue carrying on. And the championship leader is going to rejoin. Oh, but Carl Sween's in the pits as well. So maybe all of these drivers did go in the wet tyre, and with the track drying up, have now elected to go on to the dry tyre. This is the race leader. This is Chris Clements, leading in the BMW. Not the first time we've said the BMW is leading this season, and we can really see the dry line now. Look at that. So anyone now on wets will be desperately trying to keep the tyres cool. So bit of a tight situation, a bit of a train now forming, actually. Dalton has got Alex for close company around Puop. And this is on board the Aston Martin. Off Alex as he see, it looks like Dalton's not afraid of those curbs, off the wet patches, off track. That makes me think he might be on the wet tyre, you know. So 6 laps now completed. Sorry, 5 laps completed. Clements leads with Dalton in second. So Roland just jumped into the pits on that last lap. And Alex still applying the pressure. Both of them taking a unique line over the top of the hill. And Dalton's moved out over to the wet part of the track. He's trying to cool the tyres down. Alex closes off the return back to the racing line. And they're side by side through Lecombe. And Paul Alex has made the move stick. Moves up one other position. He's now up into second. And he'll begin work on closing down Clements. So a bit further back then, we've got a bit of a queue there. Brown has been closed down by Kraft and Hall. There they are. As Hall gets a little bit out of shape. And then further back here we've got us. Who's this here? So we've had Ted Trax Racing Lamborghini. That's Kraft, I think. No, it's not. That's the other one. That's Hockley who's been lapped. Getting out of the way there. Off Cook, leading and class, 7th on track. And Gordon and Cole now going past as well into the Fangio chicane. And you do wonder as well, has Gordon maybe got some wets on there as well? As the track now showing as greasy. Car number 27 showing as off track. Didn't quite pick up who that was. That's Archer, again off track. We've seen him off track earlier on as well. So Gordon's got that Lexus hot on his heels. The Lexus doesn't slow down quite as good. So Clements now into the pits. That's our race leader. Very long pit lane, of course, here at Spa. One of the longest on the calendar. That opens up Paul Alex to fly in his Aston Martin. And he's going to pull along Dalton nicely. Kraft will move up as well. So Kraft's in a good position here. Simon running 10th has just got back past Gordon. So Gordon's moving back the way. As Hamilton and Simon have gotten past him. And now that's Flores, it looks like. I think Flores is racing for position. He's not. He's going to try and unlap himself anyway. Not on this occasion. There's some movement there up front. Yeah, it's just the tracker adjusting itself for the pit stops that we're seeing. So Clements, it looks like, has rejoined just in front of Metzger, down in P12. So we'll see what happens. He had a bit of a lead, a bit of a good gap. He's not repaired damage, interestingly. That is interesting. Car 79 showing as struggling there again. That's Francorchamps. He's not had the easiest time this evening. Running wide again. Maybe he's now on the wrong tyre. Definitely looks to be struggling out there with some kind of a problem. He really is struggling. Look at him out there. He's a big problem. Can we get an onboard shot maybe? Can we see his steering? Yeah, his steering's broken. He's going to have to go into the pits. He's just keeping nicely out of everyone's way. But that's Metzger and the de facto leader about to come through now as well. He keeps out of the way well. Good stuff. So this is Hall. He's now 0.2 of a second behind Kraft as they come through our rouge. The track really now drying up nicely for the pilots. He's going to get a nice slipstream effect down the back straight here. You can see him pulling himself forward. He pulls out to the inside. And he's not able to get slowed down in time. He'll need to settle for another attempt on the next lap. So when you take a pit stop here at Spa, it is the longest pit stop off the calendar. It's the pit entrance for the F1 track at the exit of the bus stop, but you need to follow all the way round through the endurance straight and you rejoin at the end of Radion. So a very long pit lane and a big sacrifice of time if you need to pit. So you only pit if you absolutely have to. But this is Hall, and only a couple of tenths behind Alex. So where are we now? 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds behind the leader. And Hermsen's in the pits in the Lexus. Clegg is running in P20 and he's got Carl Sween for company. So Clegg goes to pull out. He thinks better of it, and of course this is now where these two are going to begin to lose time as they try and navigate the field, the supposed slower class of drivers. Clegg's on side by side into El Rouge, but Demi has thought better of it. He's caught Demi. Oh, Demi almost being collected by Sween in the background. I think Sween is still stuck behind the AM class driver in the Ferrari. As Sween finally makes it through. We'll keep an eye on their charge through the field. Interesting to find out, of course, where they end up. Lofstrand, who we've seen running around near the back of the grid, is now up in the P11. Of course, you don't know who's pitted when, of course. And Clegg has shown us off again. Clegg has spun on the exit off the corner with no name. And it's all going downhill for the championship leader this evening. Was there contact? We'll never know. It looked like Clegg was a bit down the road, so he might have spun it all by himself. Speaking of all by himself, let's give a shout out to Chris Cook this evening, who is currently running in 5th on track and leading the AM class category. That Porsche is handling very nicely for him, and he's running very well, and it's given him the reward he deserves so far. Good drive by Cook. Absolutely. Again, Mark Cedric as well was spun. He's off track. Who jumped the Cedric at Pujon at the wrong time off the track. I think Herman's in trouble as well. He's got Lofstrand. Group of 5 cars as a Lexus dives down the inside of that BMW of Metzger. So we're watching Herman. He's got Lofstrand behind. Again, at front of that BMW, looks like it's taken a beating so far. Then we've got Cedric, lights flashing in the background there. That's Metzger flashing his lights. Don't quite know what that one is for. Hutchings is under pressure from Gordon now as well. We'll stick with this one, I think. Yes, Gordon looks to at least partially avenge his teammate just now. Flies over the top of Radion. It really is not, the camera's not selling how big a gradient and blind corner that really is. He's not going to do it on this occasion. So Simon's just set the fastest lap while overtaking Cook. Cook, of course, not interested, just getting out of the way. Oh, close battle here. This is Lofstrand defending from a that's a Lexus coming through to unlap itself. It looks like Jarnigan maybe? Not Jarnigan, it's the other Lexus. My apologies. That is Helmsen coming through to unlap himself. So Lofstrand has got a lap cut in between himself and Herman. And that's the driver track updating itself there to show Simon. The man on the charge just now is Carl Sween. Has just set a fastest lap off the race. He's 1.5 behind Bird, but after that there's a big clear gap for Sween to use his pace to drive into. So this is Gordon now looking to make his move on Hutchings. Hutchings goes defensive into La Source. So that's going to compromise his exit. It's now on board with Gordon. He tucks up into the rear this time off the McLaren, thinks better off it. He's going to hope to maximise his speed through El Rouge. He thinks better off it on that occasion. Very good. Clever driving, high IQ racing there. There is only one line through that section, and Gordon not willing to risk it. This is the on-board shot from Carl Sween chasing down Bird. We see Bird a little bit all over the place. Missing a couple of apexes there the second we highlight it, as commentators curse. Round Blanchimont they go. Track looks dry now, doesn't it? Completely dry. Sween moves it to the inside, down the inside, off the bus stop, gets it slowed down in time. And that is a textbook overtake here at Spa-Francorchamps. The other driver, of course, under pressure just now is Herman. He's got Jorgen Lofstrand behind him. And the flappy bonnet BMW, a little bit of damage there, of course, for our Viking, our resident Viking. He looks in control, doesn't he? He doesn't look like he's pushing overly hard. He's not missing apexes as he just misses that apex. But he doesn't look like he's pushing too hard. I think he may have some in reserve. Yet we're thinking of the long game. We do have 47 minutes remaining. So a dry track at least for the next 15. He's definitely closing there into the bus stop. He's not going to go on this occasion. Oh, car ran wide deep there. That's Metzger, just went deep. Coming through the bus stop there. He's now under pressure. No, he's not under pressure. That's a lap car behind. He'll be thankful for that. Gordon's got himself in front of Hutchings. Now McLaren not letting him go, at least down the back straight anyway, but it looks like now he's in a bit of a better position, and Lofstrand's going to go again. This is down the Kemmel straight, but again it's just not quite enough, is it? So we're now half an hour into the race. Let's have a quick breakdown of what's happened. Alex leads Dalton by 6.3 seconds. Hall a further 4 seconds behind. Simon is in 5th. Great start from them. They've been off track as well, let's remember that. So let's not play down that feat. Kraft in the Ted Trax racing car in P5, Chris Cook 6th, Ben Gordon 7th, Hutchings is in P8, Herman in 9th, and Lofstrand rounds out the top 10. We're watching Metzger just now. He's got, I don't know, big chunk of gap behind him there on track, at least in terms of time. Clements is the de facto leader. He was leading by 10 seconds but then had to pit possibly on the wrong tyre. Brown as well was running in 2nd, so maybe the same strategy for those two. Roland is in P15 with Carl Sween, who set the fastest lap off the race, trying to come back from the back off the grid. Bird 17th, Demi 18th, Clegg, who's been off track twice that we have seen the championship leader down in 19th. With Jarnigan in 20th. Bellamancia in the Nissan 21st, Hockley 22nd, Flores again we see in the pits early on 23rd, Cedric 24th, Archer 25th, Clark, Helmson and Francorchamps round up the grid. That is the update, that's the rundown just now. So let's go and see whose story we can follow. Clements, we did see pit early. And to be fair, they are lapping at quite a quick pace. We'll see if the drivers currently leading need to pit again. Dalton then must have been on the dry tyre because he's not still out there and the track is bone dry, so it's unlikely that he did take his set of wets. He was out there struggling actually on the dry tyre at the start. Dan Clegg is right behind Demi now. He's alongside into the bus stop as he overtakes Demi for the second time this evening. Still some damage shown on the front of that BMW as Demi oversteers coming out of the bus stop. But Clegg moves one position further up and a little bit further away from being lapped. Watching Herman just now, Lofstrand is still behind him. He's not letting him go at all. As they take the run now down to Blanchimont, on board once again with Lofstrand. He's only got a toe down for you. He's a lot closer than we've seen him before. A little bit of dirty air coming off the back, off the Porsche, but this time Lofstrand is through before the bus stop and will take P3 in class up into third in class and into the top 10 on track for our Viking. It's not over by the looks of this though. It looks like Herman is not letting him go. We've got a car in the pits. That's a Lamborghini. That's a Trax car for sure. As they come round El Rouge Radion and a very optimistic line, potentially a tactical track cut by Metzger. But look at the straight line speed of that BMW, it is absolutely flying. And I think now Herman needs to be concerned for Metzger more than he needs to concern himself about taking 10th or 9th place back now. As Hockley is moving down the order in the pits. So Brown's now taking the fastest lap in P14 as the track's now beginning to dry. The drivers are going to find more and more grip, get more and more confidence, so their lap times are going to tumble. "40 minutes of this race remain." There are of course no mandatory stops, so the strategy will be dictated by how much these tyres will wear. Some drivers did elect to go on the wet tyre early on. Some did not. It looks like the drivers on the dry tyre, at least at this phase of the race, starting on the dry tyre, did look like the right move. There's the two Ted Trax Racing Cars craft being lit through by Hockley. As of course we're pointing out, Ted Trax Racing have made this season of Race Club UK possible with the partnership of Ted Trax Racing, helping young people into motorsport. They are a non-for-profit organisation and they will do what they can to help youngsters get into the world of racing through karting channels. Another avenue, of course, is the avenue of sim racing as they battle each other on track. Some great shots, of course, for these guys. They do a lot of good work. with youngsters. It's good that they get on their screen time, of course. One of the other avenues, of course, they have is the world of sim racing, hence why they are here. It is a way for youngsters to get into motorsport. There is a lot of transferable skills for, of course, a fraction of the price and a fraction of the danger as well. So do check them out. Just search on your usual social media channels, your Facebooks, YouTubes, Twitters, etc. or X, sorry, your Instagrams for Ted Trax Racing, and you can find out all the good work that these guys do. Thank you very much for waiting for me there. I have been away for a short break without telling you. Very professional of me, of course. We are now about halfway through the race. We're about to get... I'm sure Tally and Jeff needs to jump on at some point and let us know, or have I just missed that just now? I don't know. We are now about halfway through. The track is now bone dry. We had a wet start to begin with. Championship leader Dan Clegg is down in P18 as he goes to fight his way back through the field and does whatever he can to avoid himself from being lapped, as the race leader Paul Alex is only about 5 seconds behind him on track. There he is in the background coming around Blanchimont as Clegg goes through the bus stop. Clegg been off track twice this evening, caught out by the wet curbs, still holding out the water from the earlier rainstorm. It was torrential during qualifying. The track slowly has dried out and is now completely dry. Big shout out, of course, to Pete Dalton, currently running in P2 on track, first in class for the Pro-Am class. He's running 9 seconds behind the race leader. Simon's jumped into the pits. So Simon pits from 4th. Cook is now going past. Kraft is going to go past. Gordon. Hutchins also going to go past. The question is, will he come out in front of Lofstrand? Lofstrand running in P9, a big gap back to him. Very long pit lane, of course, here at Spy. Don't think he's actually going to come out in front of car number 9 either. So that is now Simon stopped in the pit lane. It is getting noticeably darker, so the sun's gone down as the drivers are slowly laying rubber down on the track. That's going to speed the track up. So a bit of a weird situation. This doesn't normally happen like this during the race. Normally the cars will get slower as they go on, but tonight we're going to just get faster and faster and faster as the forecast changes once again, as the cloud beginning to disperse. That's going to dry the track up a little bit more. as Clegg gets round Bird and moves himself up into P17. And Dan Clegg Stappen will be thrilled with the screen time he's getting this evening. Of course, he's leading the championship and hardly featured due to being about 20 seconds in front of everybody else. Sween's just made a move, we think. So Sween and Clegg are now almost on the same straight. That one could get tasty. And Simon has rejoined in 15th. Don't know if it was potentially the best move to make that pit. Of course, it might not have been possible here. It might have been done, forced by his fuel load. But we'll see where Simon in the golden Miura car, both the golden Miura cars. We'll see what they can do as this race progresses now into the night shift. Don't know what it is about this place, it just seems to throw up special races every time I ever find myself fortunate enough to commentate on a sim race at Spa. So now entering that part of the race, that phase where almost like we're waiting for the strategies to all kind of come together. They're all running their own race out there just now. So there's not really a lot of on-track battles, but this is where the races can be won and lost. This is where positions are gained and lost. We've got teammates running together this evening as well. So both the Flying Eagles cars, the blue, yellow and black cars, 9th and 10th. We've got the golden Miura cars of Simon and Sween, 15th and 16th. The Ted Trax racing cars were running on track together. Maybe not in position, but they've disappeared from each other now. And the Piston Breakers have made a sandwich with Pete Dalton, 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Car number 27 has just entered the pit lane. That's Archer again entering the pit lane. That car looks like it's suffered. Looks like it's been to go and speak to his good friend Barry R. Simon now showing his only, he's just passed Rollins for P14. The Frenchman now up into 14th and will be chasing down Michael Adenal in the Pearl Honda. So Dalton's now caught himself a bit of traffic. The Australian now finds himself with a big Lexus in front of him. And Hall, of course, just in the background there, you can see him. He's only 3 seconds behind. I mean, big shout out, of course, to Dalton and Cook. Yellow flags out there showing for car number 88. That's Hermsen, who's back now in. He's in the pit lane. The yellow flag is out, but he is sitting in the pits. So that might be him done for this evening. Clegg, the championship leader, still in 17th. Our silver championship leader, Rollins, in 15th. And our AM class championship leader, Cedric, running down in 23rd. So not a good night for the championship leader. This is the night that the rest of the field can begin to make inroads on their rivals. Dalton, Hutchins and Lofstrand, Herman and Metzger, and Adenauer, of course, all looking to close the gap that Rollins has just now. But luckily, at least for Dan Clegg's point of view, his nearest championship rival is only one place ahead of him, albeit 14 seconds down the road, but only one place when it comes to the points difference. That is exactly what you would call damage limitation for him. Paul Alex, however, and Chris Clements at the other end of the championship really are making some inroads. Clements, of course, running in only P11, a couple of positions ahead. That's him actually at the back of the screen here, I think. There he is. He was leading by about 10 seconds at the start of the race. A car entering the pits, that's car number 99, that's Hutchins, pitting from P7. That will release Gordon, Lofstrand, Herman, Metzger, Clements, possibly Brown as well, and Adenauer. Adenauer maybe as well. Yep, Adenauer's going to go through, as is Rollins. Will Sween managed to sneak through. Onboard fire, as you can see, it's completely blind over that crest. As long as you keep two tyres on the curbing, yellow and red curbing, it does count as a valid lap time. So Sween's now got a 59-second gap to the car in front of that. No, I'll take that back, sorry, it's just updated itself. An 8-second gap to Rollins, but he does need to reach Simon, who is currently the fastest driver on track. Simon's now on the back of that Honda. And Adenauer moves out of the way for the Porsche driver. Cook has entered the pits now as well. Has he got damage? It looks like he might actually have a bit of damage. He's been in the wall, has Cook. So maybe a pit stop to repair that front suspension. Looks like it's in trouble. He may be there for quite some time. He's got a big gap to Demi, the next driver in class. Where is Demi just now? Demi's coming round Rivage. That's the hairpin in sector 2. So he's got about half of a lap in hand, so Cook might actually be okay when it comes to it. Now Clements has got himself ahead of Metzger. Clements trying to come back through the field. Now if the leaders need to make a pit stop, he's going to find himself in a very, very good position as they come round El Rouge and Radion. He's side by side, he pulls out, and I think Herman's just going to let him go. No need to challenge Clements in his 15 BMW. He's going to let him go and race his own race. And that's what I meant earlier on. But just some of the drivers just running their own race just now. They don't need to push, they don't need to battle wheel to wheel and burn their tyres out. Some of the drivers will be trying to do a no-stop this evening. The rain at the start might have made it difficult and tyres are sliding it out a little bit, but it's not impossible, at least in terms of fuel. So, we'll see if we can have any inroads into that. I've got in the next 24 minutes. I cannot believe we've been here for 50 minutes already, as Gordon now this is the battle for fourth. He's on the inside of Kraft. But Kraft leaves a little bit of space. He didn't have to, but he has done. Fair racing by the Lamborghini driver. But the BMW is now hot on his tail. Thanks Smith again down the inside to last source, but he backs out of it. Now Kraft has went deep. It's going to compromise him on exit, but he's going to get a good, actually a good exit out of there, but he's taken track position. And Kraft has backed out of it on this occasion. The BMW has gone through, and that's Ben Godden now up into P4. That's third in class. Now, interestingly, Cook has came out after fixing his damage. He's a big chunk behind Demi now, so Cook's now in second. There he is there. He was leading AM class, he's now down in second. Another potential move here. This is Brown now on the racing line going past Herman. The Flying Eagles cars just letting everyone go. And Lofstrand has found himself just ahead of Clements now as well. The other way around, Clements has got past Lofstrand. So Clements 39 seconds of clear air in front of him to Jack Kraft. Kraft still being dragged along by Ben Godden. The Flying Eagles cars need to be careful, they're in danger of moving down the order as the race progresses, because Simon, the cars behind them aren't really slow cars either. We've got Simon, Sween, Clegg all behind, all looking to move forward. This is the leader, Paul Alex, in his Aston Martin. And we have chosen to come on board with Alex because he is now about 2 seconds behind Dan Clegg on track, coming through to lap the championship leader. So it looks like car number 88 in the pit, that's Helmsen, has had enough this evening. That Lexus is our first retirement as we now come into the night. The red sky at night, Shepherd's Delight showing in the background. Some glorious scenes here at Spa. It's glorious as well for Paul Alex, who is leading by about 17 seconds from Hall in the Pro tier. Dalton as well having a glorious evening, basking in the Belgian sunshine, leading Lofstrand by many seconds by way of not having to pit, at least yet. We'll see if the Australian can make any inroads further forward, but right now he's running in a very, very strong second on track. The battle for AM class is definitely heating up as well as the track cools down. Now a 20 degrees air temperature as Demi crosses the line. They lead Cook by about 15 to 20 seconds, I think. Cook was the early AM class leader, but had a bit of a brush with the wall, unfortunately. and now 22 seconds behind. Flores as well had the same issue, but Flores has battled hard back from being at the back and now just overtaken Cedric there, it looks like. They're side by side on the way into Blanchimont, only one line through there. Somehow they both managed to navigate the corner, and that's put them all under pressure at the back. Cedric now moves, I think that is the Simon, the car of Simon, and the 82 car of Metzger. It is indeed Simon now battling with the blue flag Flores. Hopefully they won't be battling for too long, because they're about to come up through this terrifying section. Flores really needs to think about his etiquette here. He's been blue flagged, he's a lap down. He should really be moving for the Frenchman as he goes past now. Maybe he didn't know, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Still showing his rain light at the back of his car as well is Flores. So, rundown just now then, 24 laps have been raced. We have 17 minutes of racing remaining. Alex leads Dalton by about 14 seconds. He's got a gap of 2 seconds further back to Hall. The piston breakers currently holding 1 and 3. Ben Godden is running in 4th, Kraft 5th. Clements, a strong 6th, was leading early on, but now has moved further and further back due to his pit stop. Brown is just behind Clements, the 666 car, no relation of course, the 666 car applying the pressure. Lofstrand is in 8th, in 2nd in class. Herman 9th, Simon the fastest driver on the track just now, running in 10th. Metzger 11th, Brown goes down the outside, Clements feels need to defend. Brown goes deep, but Clements is going to get a poor exit out of the bus stop. It looks like that position might have been defended successfully, at least on this occasion. We'll stick with this battle just now. A little bit behind this, we have Metzger, Rowlands, Adenal, Sween, Clegg, yes, Sween and Clegg 14th and 15th. Hutchings 16th, Bird 17th, Jarnigan 18th, Demi 19th, Cook, Bellamancia, Cedric, Flores, Clark, Hockley, Franciosi, Archer and Hermsen have stopped racing. It looks like Archer, it looks like actually has rejoined. My apologies, it's Hermsen who has stopped. But Brown still on the rear of Clements and nothing doing this time into Lecombe. We'll keep an eye on this battle. This one's not over, not by a long shot, but Brown looks very, very quick since the offset. We'll see if they're able to capitalise on that pace, the on-track pace, with a position up into 6th. The big question remains, Alex, Dalton, Hall, Gordon, can they make it to the end of the race on 1 tank of fuel? A little bit further behind, Simon is flying. He is the fastest driver on track just now. He's managed to fight back up into P10. Now, he has been in the pits, one of the drivers who did pit, and they've been off track as well, so they've definitely had the pace. Let's see if he can make a move now on the number 9 car of Lofstrand. On board the passenger seat of the Porsche. You see he is going to get a slipstream on the run into Francorchamps. It's not really an area where you can go side by side, but Simon's going to attempt it. He backs out of it, he's across the inside curb. You need to be so careful when you do that, you don't lose the back of the car, but Simon was. And Lofstrand goes defensive now into the bus stop, and Herman is going to try and capitalise on this as well. This is of course going to compromise Lofstrand in his battle with Herman. They're side by side into La Source. No one does indeed have to give way, no one's a lap down. Simon turns in, needs to allow the space, but this is really compromising Lofstrand. Lofstrand should maybe think twice about this, because that's opened the door now for Metzger. They're side by side into El Rouge. He backs off this time, thankfully, as Simon takes a tactical choice to go across the runoff. He'll absolutely receive some kind of a warning for that, but it's now Herman who's going to be looking to capitalise on this. Lofstrand's lost a position. It looks like it's only the one position. Strong battling by Simon as he manages to get past up into 8th. Roland's in the pits again. What's Roland in the pits for? This looks like it was maybe meant, because there's not a lot of damage showing on that car. Steering looks okay as well. So maybe this one has been necessitated by his fuel consumption on that Ferrari. 12 minutes remaining, and this is what I'm talking about. This is where the strategies will now come together, and we'll see a lot more close racing in the closing embers of this race as the sun comes down on this track, this spectacular track, played host to round 6 of Ted Trax Tuesdays. Brown really now applying the pressure, twisting the screw of Clements. He's right on his tail as he comes down into the bus stop now. Does he does defend. Clements does move to the inside of the track. Again compromising his exit. He looks to have had this done and under control so far. They're still so close, aren't they? Look at them. This is now on board the McLaren driver. He's down the inside into La Source. Clements will try and swing it around the outside. He's going to get a slightly better exit as they now fly side by side. The helicopter picks up these two. The BMW's power drives him into the apex first and retains position. Another tactical track cut choice by the McLaren driver. But nothing doing on this occasion. Hockley's in the pits again. Maybe Hockley's been in the wall somewhere, and we can really see now the track, the lighting conditions are really deteriorated. The sun has gone and visibility is at its lowest. Hockley's just leaving the pits. There he is. Needs to be careful. He's got car number 99. That's Hutchings. Just going past now. Oh, what's he doing? You can't do that. You cannot cross that white line on the pit exit. Car number 17 shown as stop. That's Sween. Sween stopped on track. What's happened to Carl Sween? He's reversing. He ran out of fuel. What's happened to Carl Sween? He's got a gearbox full of neutrals, it sounds like. That Porsche's not moving there, it's stuck. Whatever's happened to that car has now magically been fixed as he gets moving. Potentially some... Oh no, he's done. I think he maybe got some hardware equipment faults, because that doesn't look like a very well functioning Porsche. Looks like he's got a steering issue. The onboard tells us that much anyway, but the car is not turning. It looks like he's got an issue with the car. So that's unfortunate to see. Sween out. Yellow flag showing at Rivage for car number 17. No overtaking into this section. However, one person who is looking to overtake is Brown. Brown still applying the pressure to Clements. We're 8 minutes out of the finish. Absolute heartbreak for Carl Sween, who's sitting there parked at Rivage. Looks like an equipment failure of some kind. Still sitting there showing on Trax. Obviously has no control. He's not able to even return to the pits. He may have to sit here there for the remainder of the race. His lights have gone out on the car now as well, so maybe it's just been turned off. That might be him for this evening. Tragic to see this late in the day as well. Unfortunately, that is racing. So Herman's still on the back of Lofstrand. Lofstrand, I think, will take the championship lead in silver if the result finishes like this just now. What a race this has been. So much action, and as soon as we sprinkle a little bit of elements into a race, it really does come alive. So unpredictable. Who could have predicted the top two in the championship being where they are on the way into this one? Clegg's battle back up to P13 now. He's 7 seconds off the back of Michael Adler in the Pearl Honda. With his pace, it's not unreasonable to think he might get that position as well. I don't think he's going to find any more Pro Championship points this evening. We'll stick with these two again as they come over the El Rouge Radeon combination up the hill. Again, some very interesting, unique interpretations of the track limits over the crest. But again, as you see, the BMW is just too quick in a straight line for the Porsche. Not the same thing can be said for the McLaren and the BMW, however, as they're battling hard round the corner with no name. Both taking alternate lines. Clements really now under pressure. Feels the need to go almost defensive into Pouon. Only one line round there, at least one optimum line anyway. As the McLaren drivers really watch this P6. 5 minutes remaining, only a couple of laps left for Clements to hold on. And after an hour and 10 minutes of racing, it's amazing to think these two are still separated by only half a second. As he almost thinks about it down the inside, round the bottom of the track, we're almost pushing them round onto the back straight at Stavelot, or Stavelo. Will forgive my accent, I'm sure. But again, the speed. And of course, these two need to be careful. The fastest man on track, Simon, is now on their rear end. That's them there in the background. So this one's not over. Alex is at the pit. 4 minutes from the end, Paul Alex has had to pit. That may have been necessitated by fuel, but that means the Australian Pete Dalton has taken the lead, inherited the lead, and the Pro-Am driver is 3 minutes and 52 seconds away from taking the win and calling the strategy bang on. We'll see if the fuel and indeed his internet connection can last. I don't want to jinx him, but of course we've seen what happened to him back in Austria after running a very strong race there as well. Hope you'll join me in having everything crossed for him. Lostrand again under pressure coming over El Rouge. Only 4/10 in it, but nothing doing on this occasion. 3 minutes remain then. The leader's going to cross the line now. And let's not forget, Hall is only 3 seconds behind Dalton, so this one's not over. And we've got a lapped car in front of the Australian. Of course, one of the 2 Australians in the world to do sim racing, at least the 2 that I'm aware of, representing his country down under well. Speaking of representing your country well, it would not be Scottish if I did not mention that Dalton will be coming home if he keeps himself in this position at this time. Look how close these 2 are though. It is Brown all over the back of Clements. He's really got the slipstream in now and he's dragged Simon. These 2 separated by under a second, all 3 of them, as they come around Blanchimont. But look at this, Brown's run wide at Blanchimont. That's going to open the door for Simon as Simon thinks about a late defensive move by Brown, and the McLaren stops Simon from making the jump. Simon hits the back of the McLaren. He backs off, and that might be the respite that Clements needs. 1 minute and 41 seconds remain here at Ted Trax Tuesdays round 6. Simon down the inside into La Source. Simon's definitely got the pace. That's going to compromise his exit, but the McLaren we know has been nerfed. It's not as quick in a straight line as it used to be. We're on board with the McLaren driver and Simon's backed out of it. Car coming out off the pit lane almost gets involved in this battle, but this battle is not over, not by a long shot, as the helicopter picks up the clear difference. The white McLaren of Brown on the inside into Lecombe keeps position. 55 seconds left as the car behind runs over the curb. Lostrand has lost out to Herman as well. And Dalton crosses the line and is now on the last lap of the race. 32 laps here at this tremendous circuit, and what a thrilling climax these 3 drivers are giving us, because Simon has battled through most of the race, to be honest, battled through traffic and somehow got himself back up into P8. Clements will be distraught. He called the strategy incorrect at the start. It looked like the right move at the time. 3, 2, 1. This is now the last lap of the race. Not for these guys. These guys have a lap and a half given where they are. They both take some very, very lines that call into question the need for track limits onto the back straight. But now it's Brown who's under pressure from Simon. As the sparks fly as they fly round Blanchimont. Simon now thinks about it into the bus stop. And Brown is just defended enough and he's been hit. Brown's been hit by the back of Simon. That one will very likely find its way to the stewards. That is a push to pass. But Simon is going to go for the grandstand finish and get his name in the lights, at least for the meantime. As he now almost thinks about pulling out a move through El Rouge and Radion on Clements. Clements is running P6 in this position for most of the race, and they both are a lot more respectful with the track limit on this occasion. It's not over yet because look at the slipstream effect. It's pushing the Porsche into the back of the BMW. Clements tries to brake late. It's not going to be enough as Simon goes round the outside. Now he's off track, but he'll argue he was pushed off track. He's still side by side round all three parts of the com as they go into Rivage, and Clements a little bit of a nudge, a naughty nudge we'll call it, as Clements goes deep into the double apex corner. He's trying to keep position. He needs to be careful he doesn't lose it. Up at front it is Pete Dalton taking the win on track, with Hall coming round in second. Congratulations to those guys. Ben Gordon's going to come home in third as it stands. But right now we're watching this battle, this close, intense battle, as Simon has got himself in front of Clements and Brown is not yet finished. Of course, this one might end up going to the stewards as well. Simon's currently showing just in front of Clements, and Clements just in front of Brown now as well, as they come into the final dying embers of this race. Ben Gordon comes home and takes a well-deserved third on track. That's second in class. And Paul Alex comes home in P4. Commiserations after ending up in the pit lane. 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 have been confirmed as Brown tries to go down the inside, hits the rear of Clements and spins himself round. Brown facing the wrong way into oncoming traffic. Car behind is lapped and he won't lose a position, but Simon provisionally takes P6 and the fastest lap of the race. Clements comes home in 7th with Brown in 8th. Herman, who we've seen battling with Lofstrand for the majority of the race, is going to come home in P9. And yes, I am intentionally choosing the words "come home" every single time someone crosses the line, as Cedric now comes home in 21st, with Flores in 22nd. Lofstrand's been off there. What's happened? Lofstrand looks like he's run out of fuel. His car stopped, he's run out of fuel. He just needs pushed across the line. No one's going to do it for him. Clegg takes 10th, Adano 11th, Metzger in 12th. And we're just agonisingly watching Lofstrand not cross the line, and he is going to DNF on the start-finish straight, running out of fuel. Literally meters from the finish line. Commiserations to Lofstrand. Sween as well, who had to retire 5 laps from the end, and Hermsen, who was in the pits for quite some time and has remained there for most of the race. Well, it's unquestionably a driver of the day for Pete Dalton, the Pro-Am driver in the 197 Ferrari, bringing home first place and the trophy from this legendary track here at Spa for round 6. Congratulations. We'll make sure the trophy is delivered upside down so it's the right way up when you take it home. In the Pro class and second on track, it's a win for Hall in the 111 Ferrari. Ferrari's taking first and second. Ben Gordon with a well-deserved podium on third place on track. He takes second in class, with Paul Alex on the podium in Pro as well. Fifth place on track, Jack Kraft and Simon provisionally at least in 6th, with Clements just holding off Brown at the end, who went for his last gasp dive down the inside. Herman 9th, Clegg finished in P10 as the fireworks ring out. Clegg will be extending that championship lead, I think, on this occasion. I need to double check the standings on that one. Adenau comes home 3rd in class, good performance. 11th on track with Metzger 12th. Lofstrand 13th. Bird 14th, Jarnigan 15th. Demi is in P16 with Cook 17th. It's a AM class win, of course, for Demi, leading home Cook just by 2 seconds. Rollins is 18th. Billamancia, strong performance for them in 19th, and Hutchings 20th. Cedric 21st, Flores 22nd, Clark 23rd, Francorchamps 24th, Hockley 25th, Archer 26th. Carl Sween, that we seen, did not finish 27th, and Hermsen 28th. That is the provisional order of the positions finished. Congratulations to the Australian Pete Dalton for taking the race win, not only in silver but on track as well. Amazing performance. I did give my driver of the day to Dalton, but an honourable mention goes out to Mick Adenauer in P11, who started from the pit lane, if you'll remember. Great performance from them as well, taking third in class. My name is Gogs Brown. I've been in the commentary position this evening. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next time. Until then, everyone, take care. Good night.